Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a man averaging 30 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and also leading the NBA with 2.5 steals per game? With this year's builder, is it even possible to create an SGA build? This build is so lethal in the mid-range that even after patch, it still greens heavily contested middies. A build so crafty, working the pick and roll, he's able to find small slivers of space to create shots for himself. A build so creative it'll have you playing NBA 2K24 like you have never seen, with some of the most creative finishes on the game. This is my Shai Gilgeous-Alexander build. Drop a like on the video. Let's get right into it. The holiday season is here, and if you're looking for a little extra cash, you're going to want to check out the sponsor of today's video, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is an app where you can win up to 25 times your cash just by using your sports knowledge. And it's simple. First, you got to make your picks. Whatever sport you prefer, whatever categories you want to choose, select your players. Then you got to choose if those players are going to go more or less than the predictions in those categories. The more picks you get right, the more money you make. PrizePicks is available in over 30 states, and if you use my link in the description to sign up for PrizePicks today, they will match your first deposit up to $100. Age restrictions apply. Please play responsibly. Thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring this video. All right, let's jump right into it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right hand, number 2. We're going 6'6", point guard, 195 pounds. His listed wingspan is 6'11", but we're going to go 7 foot because it's the longest we could go to still get the shooting attributes that we want, that you're going to see here in a second. But pretty good physicals. You got good size at the guard position, just like Shai in real life. Now, first things first, very unique. I've never done a build like this yet this year. 91 driving layup, but as you can see, you need some strength to get Fearless Finisher, which is a very good finishing badge. So we're going to scroll down to the strength over here. We're going to put it up to 65 to get ourselves the gold Fearless Finisher to go along with basically every finishing badge you could want for layups on gold or Hall of Fame. Majority of them on Hall of Fame. And when I tell you layups on this game are insane on a build like this, I mean it. Contested layups, floaters, reverses, scooper badge. They did a test on scooper badge. It's very, very good. Euro steps with the 2-step badge. Bunny to do the hop layups. You're going to see all types of finishes from this build, and most of it is layup based. Now, the build can dunk, so don't freak out. You know, SGA can, we've seen him dunk. We've seen him, put a couple people on a nice little poster, but he's not super duper high flyer dunker. But he is very crafty in terms of finishing around the basket, so that's why we went with this extremely high layup. And I'm telling you, it is a breath of fresh air on this game. It is so fun to do different layups. The scooper, as I said, is just so... it is such a valuable thing, and it's very difficult to block. The floaters on this game, even in competitive scenarios, you see point guards doing floaters. And also a very underrated thing about layups on this game is check this out. I get the steal. Now watch this. I half bar this. It's not in the green window, but I still made it. I made it because I had heat check. Heat check comes from shooting 3 greens in a row. Now you might say, but Joe, I'm elite. I'm not even in Rise. How am I going to get heat check when, I get two-way tenacity? That's okay. Layups still activate your green machine. So greening a layup or two is going to help you green jump shots. People don't really put the 2 and 2 together, but doing layups on this game actually increase your green window for your jump shots because you're activating green machine. This build is crazy in the paint. We're moving on to the dunking. Driving dunk, we're going 65. The reason being is one of the best dunk packages in the game, in my opinion, is Athletic hangs off of 1, and you unlock that at 65, but you also get these other dunk packages that are pretty solid. Like I said, SGA is not a super high flyer, but he can get up and throw it down. Next up, our standing dunk. We are putting nothing on our standing dunk, but if you understand how this game works, just check it out. You can still do standing dunks with no standing dunk. There is value in standing dunk, but for this build, we're going to save the attributes. We're going to get 81 post control, because we do see Shai occasionally post up smaller players, and we're also going to get 92 mid-range, which is going to give us not only a bunch of shooting badges we'll talk about in a second, but in terms of post badges, Dream Shake Gold and Post Fade Phenom Gold. So if you do get a smaller guy on, you can certainly go into the post and work out in here with some crafty little post game, post fades, post hop shots, all that stuff. But the bread and butter of the build, we already talked about the layup, the mid-range. You get a ton of shooting badges on gold, and especially on Hall of Fame. The Midi Magician, the open looks. I mean, you're making smutties in the mid-range. This build is insane when it comes to the mid-range game, which is a bread and butter of SGA. He's a decent three-point shooter. He just doesn't shoot a ton of threes. but the mid-range and the crafty finishes around the rim, I mean, the dude is averaging 30 points per game in the league. You gotta be able to score the ball, and this build sure can score the ball. What's really fun about this build for me is the creativity. You know, you don't see a lot of people go into the layup game, you know, the variety of layups I was just showing, and people have caught on to how OP the mid-range game is on this game, but not to this extent. Like, this build, layups and mid-range is the bread and butter, and the attributes and badges reflect that, and it really is. I mean, the green window on these mid-ranges, I can't even, it's so easy to time. And then you guys saw the layup meter. Damn near the whole thing is green, no matter where the defender is most of the time. It's crazy. Moving on to the 3-ball, we're going 78 3-ball. Now, you can certainly go up to 85 and get that bronze limitless, but the reason I went 78 was to have a more balanced build. Now, Shai does shoot almost 37% from the 3, which is very good, but compared to other guards, he just doesn't shoot a lot of them. A lot of other guards are shooting 8, 9, 10 a game. He's only shooting 3.5, so it's not something he goes to a lot. But I have a 78 3-ball on mine. But with the 92 mid-range, I get the half open looks and the gold blinders and the green machine and all those other high shooting badges, which still help you shoot threes. So it's a 78, but it's kind of, you know, it's not necessarily a true 78 because of the badges that you get. If you want to go up to 85, 86, you certainly can. It's definitely a good option, but for Shai, I decided to go with the 78. Now, Shai, he's averaging damn near 6 assists a game. Got to be able to pass the ball. We're going needle threader on bronze with the 77 pass act. And I mean, hey, you want to throw bounce passes on the slip between, you know, little pocket passes, it's beautiful. You want to throw lobs, you certainly can. You got to make the reads if you're running point on an SGA build, and this build can certainly make reads. A little slip pop, hit my boy lag out, he's greening it. 77 pass, more than enough. Ball handle, we're going 92 to get all the best SIGs on a 6'6 player. Now, I did something pretty unique with the playmaking here, we'll talk about in a second, but with 92 ball handle, as I said, you get all those 6'6", you know, best SIGs that you could potentially want. Breaking ankles with the gold ankle breaker. You could definitely move. You can definitely groove. You get everything that you want on a 6'6 guard. You know, a little Trae Young behind the back to split the screen. Whatever animations you want on a 6'6 you get on this build. Now, I went 75 on the speed with ball. Most people immediately go to 83 to get the gold speed booster. I went silver speed booster. For Park, I think silver's enough. Even a lot of 6'6 guards in Pro-Am feel like silver is enough. It all depends on your play style. Now, if I was making a 6'6 slasher and I was trying to get blow-bys and turn the corner on people and go meter dunk on people, I'd probably put up my acceleration and put up that speed with ball and try to make sure I get blow-by badge and speed booster on gold and all that. But for being a bit more of a crafty player and manipulating a screen and getting into the mid-range, I didn't feel I needed it. I went with silver. Plus, I saved enough attributes to be able to get 91 steal, and SGA leads the league in steals per game. 91 steal gets you the gold glove, the gold right stick ripper, and if you don't know about it on this game, it is one of the craziest things you'll ever see. 91 steal is ridiculous. This is all after the patch when they said they nerf steals, by the way. All these clips are after the patch. You're still tearing it off, people. You're still playing passing lanes with the gold interceptor. 91 steal on a 6'6 guard with 91 layup and 92 3 and 92 ball handle. We have a stat in every category over 90. 91 layup, 92 mid-range, 92 ball handle, 91 steal. Now, on top of that, 75 perimeter, nice bronze badges on defense, clamps, challenger, all that. Now, here's the one thing. I decided to keep it 25 interior. Now, it's not great. Trust me, it ain't great. But on this game, if you position yourself correctly at this size with this wingspan, you can still get good contests. But if someone's posting you up or something like that with 25 interior, you're gonna get destroyed. So as I always tell you, tweak the build to your liking. But the reason I did it was so that I could get 60 defensive rebound to get bronze rebound chaser. And the reason for that is because SGA averages 6 rebounds a game. So I wanted to have some rebound chaser. Now listen, they've done a ton of tests on acceleration, and it does affect your first step, but it's milliseconds of difference. So for this type of build, I don't think it's necessary. I kept it at 66. Like I said, if I was making a build, I wanted to turn the corner and get blow-bys on people and stuff, yes, I would put the acceleration up. But for this type of build, playing a little bit more crafty, working behind a screen, working for mid-ranges and layups, I don't think it's needed. 96 stamina to get the gold, handles for days. I got a little bit of attributes left. This is a Park build. Obviously, SGA is like a 90% free throw shooter, so he'd have a much higher free throw. But I said, you know what? Put the rest on free throw, get the bronze free points in case anybody wants to go to the rec or anything like that. We do get the SGA player comparison, which is absolutely perfect. I have a blast playing on this build. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all want to check out a prime Russell Westbrook build that gets triple doubles in the comp pro-am, check out that video on the screen right there. That build is crazy.